This is Hino's Sport bringing you that heat and that far. All right, y'all. You guys have to look at the comparison that I'm going to make, and you're going to understand why there's validity behind it. You have to look at Michael Jordan. You have to look at Kobe Bryant, right? It brings me back to the 2009 enshrinement Hall of Fame speech of Michael Jordan when he sat there and he said, all of you guys are sitting here looking for who's going to be the next Michael Jordan. You guys are just constantly looking, constantly comparing people to me and saying, oh, okay, he's going to be the next Michael Jordan. But what you guys have to understand is I didn't just come. You know what I'm saying? I already arrived. You guys were looking and looking, right? And I just arrived. I just showed up. Well, this is going to be the same case for the next supposed Michael Jordan. He's just going to show up. And that's exactly what happened. He just showed up. And his name was Kobe Bean Bryant. He showed up through his abilities. He showed up through his hard work. He showed up through his dedication. He showed up to him not cheating the sport and dedicating himself to the craft. And basically saying that, you know what? I'm going to show you guys that I am not second to nobody. And that I'm chasing greatness. And I am going to be the greatest player of all time. This is the mindset that Errol the True Spence has. Errol the True Spence is the Black Mamba of boxing. Let me say it again. Errol the True Spence is the Black Mamba of boxing. He adopts the Mamba mentality every time he steps into the square circle. You know why? Because what is the Mamba mentality? Never let up. Never buckle under pressure. Keep pushing. And keep what? Going and going and going and going. When you look at Errol the True Spence style, it is a Black Mamba style. You know why? Because it adopts tactical aggression, technical punching placement, and body snatching work, the levying onslaught of the punishment style. This is a Mamba mentality style because it keeps doing what? It keeps going, it keeps going, it keeps going. Spence is not a beta. He's a true alpha in center line mass of the square circle. He does not yield to anyone when he's in that ring. And he's going to keep coming. And there's nothing you can do to stop it. That's the mentality that Kobe Bryant had on the basketball court. That's the mentality that Errol the True Spence has in the square circle. So everybody's sitting there looking for the next Mayweather, and poof, he showed up. Errol the True Spence. And he showed up sooner than people expected. This is why I call Errol the True Spence the Black Mamba or the Kobe Bryant of boxing. Because in basketball, they hated Kobe Bryant for that. They didn't want to accept the fact that, damn, Michael Jeffrey Jordan, the guy himself, who was considered by acclamation the greatest of all time in basketball. How dare somebody come and try to damn near threaten this man's greatness? But Kobe Bryant did. Kobe Bryant basically decided to be such a student of the game and master the game to such a level and a degree that he was willing to say, you know what? I'm not only going to maximize my skill sets. I'm not only going to maximize my abilities. I'm going to show people that I can challenge this guy. This was the guy that when he was a rookie in the NBA, he went straight up to Phil Jackson and said, yeah, who is that guy right there? That was Jordan. And he said, yeah, I could challenge this guy, and looked at him steady in his face and said, I could beat you one-on-one. He was never intimidated. This is the same thing with Errol the True Spence. When he sparred Floyd Mayweather, there was no intimidation in his bones. He went in there and said, okay, I'm coming to get that work. I'm coming to put in that work. And he earned his nod of approval. Just like Michael Jordan gave Kobe Bryant the nod of approval and said, he is the only one that deserves the comparison. He is the only one that has put in the work to merit it. That's the nod of approval that Floyd Mayweather gave Errol the True Spence. Because he said, he gave me that good work. And that's a lot. Do you understand the Class A narcissism and the ego that's associated with a Floyd Mayweather? He will never come out of his mouth and say, somebody gave me that work. Errol the True Spence gave him that work because there was witnesses there. Even Leonard Ellaby was like, man, watching them fight was like watching, you know what I'm saying, two legends go at it. This came out of Leonard Ellaby's mouth. It was like watching a classic. And they say sparring is a joke, right? There's a lot of people in boxing that don't understand what sparring wars is all about. Do your research on that. Because in sparring wars, there's a lot of sparring matches that make actual real matches look like a sparring match. Because the level of fighting that goes on in these sparring wars is of legendary status. It makes a lot of these fights pale in comparison to what that sparring war is all about. And certain fighters' boxing careers have been shortened due to sparring wars because they weren't built too big, too strong, and built too tough like Errol the True Spence. He's a sturdy guy. Just like Kobe Bryant was a sturdy guy when he played basketball. That's what you see with Errol the True Spence. The guy's special. His nickname tells you everything it needs to tell you. Like the Black Mamba, his nickname is what? It's in the same linear definition of the Black Mamba snake. You know why? Because it strikes at a 99.9% accuracy rate. This is how Kobe plays on the basketball court. Errol the True Spence strikes at a 99.9% accuracy rate because he is the truth. There's no lies in his damn fist. And you saw Floyd Mayweather give him the ultimate nod of approval because in the Mikey Garcia fight, it was a culmination of things and events. People forgot that. Floyd Mayweather acted and operated as one of his trainers, one of his coaches on the sideline. You boxing him cleanly. You beating him down. There's no need to stop him. When have you seen Floyd Mayweather do this for other fighters to this level? He went round by round to do this with Errol the True Spence. You know why? Because he saw his heir apparent. He saw a guy that does not have any flaws in the square circle, much like himself. And he wanted to coach him. And what did Errol the True Spence say at the end of the fight? Floyd Mayweather called me. Floyd Mayweather don't be calling no fighters. He called Errol the True Spence and gave him that nod of approval. Was like, that's what I'm talking about, though. I see. That's why they call you the truth. This is so much so like when Kobe Bryant would get calls from Michael Jordan and Michael Jordan would talk to him. Michael Jordan don't talk to nobody. Michael Jordan, let alone don't give nobody secrets. But he was willing to do that with Kobe. You know why? Because he saw his mirrored image. It's the same thing with Floyd Mayweather. He sees his mirrored image, but in a different variation with Errol the Truth Spence. The guy is a fighter of epic proportions and epic magnitudes. So if Floyd Mayweather is the Michael Jordan of boxing, Errol the True Spence is the Kobe Bryant of boxing. And this is why fight fans don't want to accept Errol the True Spence, because a lot of these reverse bias, aka detractors, aka panderers, were clinging on Canelo Alvarez to be the next guy. And they're hot and bothered like grits because Errol the True Spence showed up way before they expected it. They didn't want this whole Floyd Mayweather conundrum of a fighter to lord over and dominate. They didn't want that spectrum again. And then Errol the True Spence shows up, obliterates opponents in a different variation than Floyd Mayweather, because Floyd Mayweather was doing it from a boxing standpoint of basically figuring you out and basically making you look stupid after 3 to 4 rounds. Errol the True Spence is doing this on a front foot of obliteration, either punishment and stoppage. They didn't like this, man. They couldn't stand it because it was like, no, Canelo needs his day. Well, guess what? Just like Kobe Bryant just showed up immediately after Jordan, it was the same thing. Errol the True Spence showed up immediately after Floyd Mayweather. And I'm left with telling you this, like Richard Schaefer said, we left the Mayweather era and we ushered into the Spence era. Let me say it again. We left the Mayweather era and we ushered into the Spence era. And I have to go ahead and channel my Jay-Z, my inner Jay-Z. Richard, I agree, I said. Let me say it again. Richard, I agree, I said. Errol the True Spence, like Freddie Roach said, is the truth. There is no lies in his fists. He is the Black Mamba, a.k.a. KB24 of boxing. Get it through y'all thick heads. Accept it, because he ain't going nowhere. And in this second win of his career, mark my words, everybody's getting bulldozed and they getting steamrolled. This is Hino Sport. Checking out.